This entrepreneurship game is 99% mental. I wish I figured that out earlier, because skill gets you so far. But if you don't have, after a nice little sabbatical, it's good to be back. It's good to see you, Megan. It's good to be back live. Welcome to the Ask Jason show. Every week we are going live, answering your questions. Been away for the last week, just enjoying some time with family, disconnected from work a little bit, but happy to be back, refreshed, ready to go. Megan, whenever you're ready.
All right. Okay. First question is from Amy. How can businesses utilize email marketing to engage potential clients and customers?
One is assuming you already got the email addresses, but I'm not going to assume that. So one is you have to find a way to capture those email addresses from your potential customers or potential clients. So whether that's having them opt in for something like a lead magnet or a free, like that could be a free report, or to watch a webinar, or to watch some sort of training, you have to find a way to capture that. Then we go into what's called the content flywheel. So every day, are you sending out valuable information that gets them to come back and book a call with you, that shows you're an expert in your field, that shows you know what you're talking about, that you provide value and you can actually help get them to come back. That could be the mix. That could be a mix of, angles and strategies. So here's a strategy that's been working for a couple of clients. We'd love to show it to you. You do a little teaser of the strategy through your email, and then say, want to learn more, book a call here. It could be if you have a podcast, you put out information and you promote the podcast through email. So you're always providing content of what's going and whatnot. So it's really just find a way to capture that email and then just keep going around. Look, we live in a time now where people aren't necessarily clicking and then buying right away, or aren't clicking and then just booking a call right away. Sometimes people need to be wined and dined. They need to feel loved, and they need to feel like they're making the right decision. So the content flywheel is a perfect way to do that, is every single day send valuable information out with a call to action and get them to do something. So whether that's getting them to read a blog article or getting them to book a call, it should be a mixture of both, and keep that relationship going.
Awesome. Okay. Right. This one is from Derek. What are some effective offline marketing tactics that businesses can use to complement their online efforts?
We talked about some of those already in the past, but that's what's called, you can send shock and awe boxes. So while you're sending emails, while you're running ads, you could have a Dream 100 list of your potential dream clients that you want to work with. And are you sending out packages to them in the mail? Are you sending out, and you can fill that package with, if you wrote a book, put a book inside there, just things, again, that present you as an expert, case studies, testimonial booklet, food. Everyone likes chocolate, put some chocolate inside there as well. Are you sending out that type of thing that makes you stand out and gets your foot in the door? I've actually seen where people have actually sent a shoe. It's just a shoe to the dream client that they want to work with, and they said, "Hey, we're just trying to get my foot in the door." So, are you being crafty and clever as a way to get involved? We've talked about this where we've sent toy soldiers, like a pack of 1,000 toy soldiers to clients or prospects that we wanted to work with, and we were going back and forth, and we sent the toy soldiers as a way of saying, hey, we're fighting hard for your business, so we decided to send some reinforcement. You could use it as a way. We've also sent toy soldiers in the past where we've sent out and said, hey, you're going to make so much money, we decided to send you some armed escorts to help take you to the bank. So just ways to do that. And that was an $8.99 investment that generated over $100,000 for us. So I think that's a pretty solid ROI on that. We've sent boomerangs to past clients of ours that said, hey, we want you back. Like, just, are you being a little bit different and standing out? So offline comes into cold calling comes into cold email. Maybe that's still online, but I think you're assuming. I think you were talking about ads, but cold email, sending out letters in the mail, sending out pizza with pizza to the office or to the CMO. With a note inside of it, just any way to stand in front, to stand out and get noticed. Everyone's running ads. Very few people take it to the next level.
Yeah. I like those examples. Those are a lot more memorable than like a fruit basket. Those are cool examples.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny. Like, it doesn't work every time, but we're a marketing agency. So number one is, we're showing that we know how to market. Hey, like, we're not button pushers on Facebook ads. We know how to market, and these guys get hit every single time. The guys and women running these departments get hit up every single time. So how can you stand out? Send out oversized postcards, right? So your letters look different than everyone else's. Are you sending it FedEx when everyone else is sending it, USPS? Are you sending it in a gold envelope versus something else? Like, just different ways to get to stand out. And like, the ad is supposed to, an online ad isn't necessarily supposed to drive a sale. It's supposed to drive a click. It's supposed to drive an action. It's first supposed to get people to stop, then it's supposed to get them to take an action and do things, and then everything else is supposed to sell them. No matter how great your letter is that you're going to send to someone, and no matter how great you are, it has to get opened. It has to get seen first. Yeah. So what can you do to just break through that noise and get your foot in the door? Look, a podcast is another example. Go interview your dream 100 people, reach out to them and sit there and say, hey, I run this podcast on this. Big fan of your work. Would love to chat with you and on the podcast and talk about it. Again, they're going to say yes to that more than going to be like, hey, we'd love to run your ads, love your business. They get hit all the time with that. So how can you be a little bit different?
Yeah. Okay. All right. What are the most effective ways for entrepreneurs to stay motivated and resilient in the face of setbacks and failures? And that question is from Brian.
Mindset. It's perspective on how you view it, and is it a failure, or is it a learning lesson? Is that failure actually preparing you for something bigger? Perspective and the lens and how you look at things matters more than anything else. So I think it's hard work. And Megan, again, this because we work so closely. It's where I've invested a ton of my time recently, right? So it's just, I wish I learned this a while back. I learned a lot of skills. It's the mindset part that I've always didn't want to focus on. And I can't say I regret it, because it was preparing me for something else, right? The lens of how you look at things. But I kind of wish I had that time back to do it. But at the end of the day, I don't, and here I am, and we're focused on that and we move forward. But it's just, there are seasons in nature, there are seasons in business, there are seasons in life. Sometimes you're in harvest mode, sometimes you're in reaping mode, sometimes you're in planting mode. So you just have to realize it and look at it from that side of things. I think having a vision and a goal that's big and audacious and gives you that leverage to keep pushing forward. I think when you have that goal that big, failures are just price you pay to get what you want, right? So if your goal is so big and with conviction that this is my vision for myself in 10 years from now, and I'm going to push through, I'm going to move, I'm going to get to this level, and with certainty you actually believe it, that you could actually almost feel gratitude for the fact that you have it in the future. If you could do that, then all these little setbacks just become like, in your head, you're like, yeah, this payment. It's everything comes at a cost, right? All success comes at a cost. Everything you want, all goals, all your visions come at a cost. You just start looking at it as like, yeah, that's normal. Okay, I got to pay for it. Yeah, that's fine. I got to do it. And then you just got to figure out, like, is this really even a failure, or is it a blessing in disguise? Again, just all fancy ways to say your perspective and your mindset on how you view things matter more than anything else. This entrepreneurship game is 99% mental. I wish I figured that out earlier, because skill gets you so far, but if you don't have, if you're not sturdy or strong enough to withstand this game, doesn't matter how skillful you are.
Okay. All right. This question is from.
By the way, not the answer that people want to hear, right? Like it, and I get it. You want the tactical. You want the, okay, so I had this failure. How do I rebound right away? Mm-hmm. But if you re-listen to that answer that I just gave, like just re-listen to it and just dissect it, it's better than any tactical advice that anyone is ever going to give you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. This one is from Cara. How can business owners stay updated with the latest trends in the industry in order to stay competitive?
There's all types of blogs, leaders in your industry. Google, Google Trends, like these are like, that's that. And make sure nothing is going to replace you actually testing your own things out in the marketplace. You focus too much on what your competitors are doing, you become a copycat. You become them. And there's nothing that makes you stand out. There's nothing that makes you different. You have no context to what they're doing, what they're not doing. But at the same time, I get it. You want to know what your industry is doing. You want to know what's happening. Set up Google alerts. Go look at Google Trends. Go look what's happening in the news. Read Google, like if you're in e-commerce, Google e-commerce blogs, and you'll find stuff. If you're in marketing, go follow the marketing ones. If you're in finance, like. It's there. Google. Just, it's the best answer I can give you.
Google for everything.
It's funny. I saw a meme the other day. It's like someone said, it was almost like, here, okay, let me Google that for you. Like in the sense of like, you could have done this. You're asking me a question that you could Google, but I get it. It depends what industry you're in. So I can't really give you specific answers.
Okay. So now it's time for my question of the week.
Ooh.
All right. So, So when starting a business, how important do you think it is to have a well-defined business plan, or is it even important at all to have a business plan?
A business plan, I'll give you my opinion on it. A business plan, like the traditional business plan sense, no, don't really care for it. I've never really written one, and I've started multiple businesses. If I was going to invest in a business, it's just fancy bullshit. Like, let's be honest. It's like, all right, here's best case scenarios for everything. And we all know it doesn't work out like that. So the traditional sense of like, here's my, 400-page business plan. No, I'll never read it. And I don't think many people will read it. And I don't think I've ever really created one. I created one, when I started a t-shirt company, we were going to invest in, we were going to actually turn it into a UFC brand. And this is before Reebok took over. We were going to sponsor fighters. We were going to do all that and build it into a big MMA brand. And the people who were going to invest in it wanted to see a business plan. And I was like, okay. And I met with my accountant. We created this whole business plan. Honestly, I don't even think the investors ever read it. I think, and we had talks about investing after that. I don't think they've ever read it because they've asked a million questions that were all answered inside the business plan. And I spent a lot of time on that thing. So from then on, I was like, I'm never writing another one of these again. Like, no chance am I ever writing another one of these again. So, so I personally don't think it's so important, but having a vision, having a goal, and having a plan is super important. If you don't know the direction you want to go in, then you're going to get lost and just circle. If you don't know if you don't know why you want the things you want or why you're going in the direction you want, then you're just going to loop and circle and plateau and not grow or even start. So knowing what you want, knowing the end result of kind of what you're looking for. And that could always change, right? As you accomplish certain goals, you're going to push the goals further and further and change those goals. But knowing all that, if you have that vision, that goal, and why you want those goals and why you want to achieve that and what you're willing to pay for that, that matters to me. If I was an investor and wanting to see things, it matters to me. And, where I've spent the last 7 days kind of reflecting on our multiple businesses and how I want to push those. Those is where I spent my time focusing, and not here's the budget I want to invest and go do this and go do that. And here's the plan that I want. It's more, here's the vision of I want. Here's in 5, 10 years, 3 to 5 year plan, 10-year plan. What do I want this whole life to kind of look like, this whole business to kind of look like? And then I kind of reverse engineer from that and kind of be like, okay, so if this happened right now, what would I need? And then you start realizing there's a lot of things that happen. You start saying no to a lot more things because you know what you want. And you're like, this doesn't push me closer to the goal. So you start figuring things out, and I have my own coaches that challenge me on that and push me on those things to figure it out. But I mean, everyone who puts in a budget is a budget. It doesn't make sense. If anyone's ever renovated a house or done anything, you know that the budget absolutely makes no sense, and you're going over budget and add 20% minimum more towards that budget. So from a traditional sense, no. From a real goal and vision side, super important.
Okay. Wasn't sure how you're going to answer that one.
Why? What do you think I was going to say?
I didn't know which way you're going to go with it. So yeah, that surprised me. Yeah. You had me fooled on that one.
Was the answer sufficient, or do you want more, or are you good with that answer?
I felt like that was very sufficient, but I did not know which way you were going to go with that one. So
good.
Great answer.
Good. Perfect.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all of our questions this week.
Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back next week. And then I think in a couple of weeks, we have a new time slot. So we'll keep you posted on that. But Megan, as always, thank you so much. If you want to work with us, and you should, head on over to jportnoy.com, jportnoy.com. And all the different ways that we could help you grow your business are listed on there. And I look forward to chatting.